Right, so I was going to start this video by saying that this is going to be a part 2 to a previous video that I already done, but now I'm actually starting to doubt myself, because I'm going to go back to the previous video that I originally uploaded, and as you can see by my YouTube studio right here, it seems like I haven't made it live. As you can see, this video is called Michelle Finish. It's a finished project. I haven't even renamed or anything. And I uploaded it on October 12th, and it's still unlisted. I think I genuinely just forgot to make it live. Probably tell by the name. And she is posting as you can see, a video on Michelle The Bartender, who we're talking about today. And apparently, this video was never made public, which I could have swore happened. So now I've been sat here doubting myself, thinking, okay, did I have to upload a different version of the video? Because there was some, like, mistakes in the first one or something. I don't really know what happened, but I could have swore it was made live at one point. So if you could let me know in the comment section, have you ever seen me talk about Michelle The Bartender? Please let me know, because I genuinely think I'm losing my mind. But either way, we do have some brand new updates regarding Michelle The Bartender, and in case I never actually made that original video live, let me give you a bit of a backstory on who Michelle is. So this is Michelle The Bartender, a TikToker with 4.3 million followers. And as the name would suggest, she works as a bartender. Her videos kind of started off like talking about her experience bartending, people enjoyed it, they were relatable and whatnot, she would answer questions. The same that we've seen with a lot of TikTokers who have different professions. But a few months ago, people started feeling a bit uneasy about Michelle's videos. There's a lot of videos where she kind of just like slates her husband and tells a lot of private information, basically stories that just don't need to be public for millions to see. And in these videos, she would just kind of talk shit about her husband. Like this is one for an example.
I never let my husband clean the bottles, but he tried to do something nice. I said thank you, but now I'm having to redo it. Do you guys see this? He was like, that's just from it being old. No, you don't know how to clean it. But thank you. So I'm gonna properly
a bit passive aggressive, isn't it?
and show you what it's actually supposed to look like. Show him too, really.
And yeah, I get it, right? She could be playing a character here. This could be a joke. It might not even be a real situation. She might just be trying to be funny with this whole, like, couple-ly argument type vibe, I guess. But then in October, Michelle posted this video, which definitely doesn't seem like a joke by any means. It seems like a very real situation where she says that she was nearly robbed due to her husband's actions.
My house almost got robbed on Tuesday night. Yeah, I thought about not telling you guys this story because it's an embarrassing story for me and for my husband. But if it helps somebody, I'm gonna tell it. I know I've talked to you guys about how my husband doesn't drink because he can't drink, because he can't stop.
Yeah, so here's another thing as well. In a lot of these videos, she goes into details about how her husband has a drinking problem. Again, like I said, in these videos, she just tells everything about her husband. Stuff that I can't imagine he would really want out there. Maybe he does, what do I know? I just can't imagine why anyone would want this stuff on the internet, but even then, let's say he does, let's say he doesn't care. Some stuff just doesn't need to be out there, right? You can have your private life, and Michelle doesn't seem to want to have a private life in the single slightest, which we'll get a lot more into.
He gets home at 3:20 in the morning, 3:20 in the morning. The dogs start barking, and the dogs don't bark at him. So I knew somebody was with him. So I get up out of bed, and I'm immediately pissed off when I see the time. Okay, I walk out there, I'm a raging bitch. Okay, because why the
Do you see what I mean? How this is a bit of a weird vibe. Like, why is this being uploaded? You're talking about a problem that you had with your husband that you're clearly not very happy with. This should be a matter that should be solved privately, but for some reason it's on TikTok, and millions of people have seen it.
I see this guy, he's walking around our whole house, scoping it out. But I didn't really think anything of that, right? And I'm just trying to get the dogs to stop barking so they don't wake up Ryder, our baby. I'm like, Justin, do you know that it is 3:30 in the morning? What are you doing? Bringing random people over from the bar.
Right, so basically she goes on to explain that her husband went to a bar, got very drunk, and brings some strangers back to the house. Some people he literally met that night. Now this is obviously worrying for a lot of reasons, the main one being is that their child literally lives in this home with them. So it's putting your child in a potentially dangerous situation. She goes on to explain that she saw this random guy like looking around and scoping the area and seeing what was there. He just seemed like he had a bit of a strange vibe about him. And then when Michelle went to that bar on a different day, someone actually goes up to Michelle and apologizes and says, oh my god, I'm so sorry that you got robbed. Obviously they didn't get robbed, but this person seemed to know that that was the stranger's intention.
She said, I'm so sorry. I begged them not to do it. And I'm like, not to do what? Beg who? What? She said, your husband, we had to cut him off. This is why he doesn't drink, okay? And his phone was dead, so he couldn't order an Uber. She said, I tried to order him an Uber, and he wouldn't let me do it. He was like gonna get in the car with these dudes that were gonna bring him home, and she was like, and I knew that these guys were gonna rob him. and I begged them not to do it.
Yeah, so obviously a very terrifying situation for a lot of reasons, and in the comment section, most people are just worried about the child in the scenario, right? And a big piece of advice that people are leaving in the comment section is that Michelle needs to get a security system. She needs cameras, right? To make the house as safe as possible, to which she actually does, but then goes on to make a video showing exactly where all the cameras are and explains exactly how they work. Now I'm gonna blur this video, but basically what is happening here is that Michelle is doing like a house tour almost, but more of a security cam tour where she's showing all the security cameras. She goes into details of like how the security cameras work, how they detect motion. She even goes into such specifics saying like if you stay in a certain area for a certain amount of time, she mentions this time frame, by the way. I'm not going to, just for safety reasons, right? Even though it is on a public platform, but she goes on to say that if you stay in this area for a certain amount of time, the camera will detect you, almost giving people a tutorial on how to avoid it by saying if you don't stay in it for as long as that, you probably won't be caught. A very strange video, right? It completely defeats the purpose of having a security system if you upload a video telling people every detail of the security system, showing exactly where it is and how exactly to avoid it. And again, the big worry here was that you're putting your child's safety in danger. And again, to add more context of how much of Michelle's private life she shows on TikTok, there's videos of her just talking about her work schedule. She's told people exactly where she works multiple times now, even in old jobs, and she even tells people like the days she's working and the hours.
I work at $2 Saloon. It's on Hawthorne Lane in Charlotte, North Carolina. I work Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesdays we open at 4 and we close at midnight, and then Saturdays I get there around 7.
I mean, going into every detail possible, right? And I mean, that's the old place that she worked at. That was at the beginning of the year, but she's still doing it to this day, even in her newest job.
Thursday night, and I'm working at Uncle Jesse's. Okay, there is literally not a person in here. It is 8 o'clock. We opened at 7.
Yeah, I mean, just going into more details, right? She mentioned the place that she works at. She's even put in the description, like, what time it doesn't get busy till, so if you want to come, blah, 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 you can. She literally doesn't want to have an ounce of privacy in her life. It's very clear to see that she doesn't understand the dangers of not having safety online, especially when you're such a big influencer, right? She's very big on TikTok, she gets millions of views, and she just doesn't seem to care for not only her safety, but her child's safety too, right? And not intentionally, right? I'm not saying that she's purposely trying to put a child's safety in danger. I would never say that. What I am saying is showing people exactly where the security cameras are, telling people where you work at, also mentioning other videos that I need to find a job that's close to where I live, basically insinuating you live close to the place where you live. Like, that's so much information. That's not safe. But that was all the stuff that I spoke about in my original video that I still think I uploaded at some point, and I feel like I remember reading comments on that video, but apparently not. Because apparently it was made live. Like, it's still very confusing. I really feel like it was taken down at some point, and I can't remember why. I tried, like, looking for, like, emails and stuff. I can't remember why for the life of me, so, yeah, let's forget about that. But now let's move on to the newest situation that's happened, and this has all happened within the last 4 days. So again, Michelle doesn't seem to have a filter with the stuff that she says online, and she actually recently uploaded a video. Remember, she's a bartender at a bar, and she uploaded a video basically taking the piss out of this woman who goes into the bar, one of the customers, and she just puts her on blast. But not only that, then starts making like a bunch of wild accusations against her.
Normally I don't call people out in this way because I don't want them to come back up and like know that I was talking about them. But in this case, I really don't care because this woman that I'm about to tell you does not ever order anything from us, and she's never tipped us. And I'm not lying. Every single night that I have worked, she has come in. The first night that I met her was my first day. I walk up to her and I'm like, hey, what would you like? And she's like, I'm thinking. I was like, okay, well, let me know when you're ready. I'll come back to you. I come back to her. She goes, I'll just take a water. I'm like, okay. And the other bartender was like, we call that girl crazy water bitch.
Well, what a lovely thing to say about one of your customers, eh? So as you just heard, there's this woman who goes into the bar a lot, and she only drinks water, and she doesn't tip because water's free. Again, as I feel like I mentioned in that original video, that I don't know if it ever was made live, the tipping culture in America is very different to what it is in the UK. We do tip here, but I think it's a much bigger thing in America. But what I have seen in the comment sections of these videos from people who are from America is that it's not uncommon to not tip for a water. I guess maybe you could say it's a bit different if she's going in every day and ordering waters, and even Michelle says in different videos that, yeah, she would tip like a couple of dollars here and there and whatnot, but yeah, I guess I don't really know the whole, like, tipping culture in America, so let me know if you think that is weird. But either way, I feel like no matter where you stand on it, I don't imagine it's so bad that you should be going onto TikTok in front of your millions of followers and calling her crazy water bitch, and then going on to make mad accusations, as we'll get to in a second. And look, I'm not stupid, right? I understand that, like, staff members at bars and restaurants and whatnot probably gossip amongst themselves and might see like a customer and talk shit about them. I'm sure it happens in many, many different workplaces, right? That's one thing in itself when it's just between a group of yous. Still not very nice, but at least it's in a private conversation, I guess. But then to go onto TikTok in front of millions of people when you have mentioned exactly where you work, so you've already narrowed it down to a certain amount of people, the chances of this person seeing it is very high, and the chances of someone seeing it who goes this bar and also can probably work out who you're talking about is again very, very high. So it's just a horrible thing to do.
She goes, she never orders anything but water, and she never tips us. She comes here to prey on men. I said, well, has she ever gone home with any of them? She said, sometimes, and we never see that guy again. What? One of the other bartenders was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she like takes dudes home and like hides them in her basement or something. What? One time she left her phone up on the bar, and I get it, and I look at like the picture, you know how normally it's a picture of your dog or your kid or your like nephew or you and your family or you and your husband or something. This picture was of her standing in a dressing room with this face, like this.
What is she going on about at this point? Okay, so let's get the very simple part of the way. When she mentioned the phone at the end, she said that she saw this woman's phone, looked at the lock screen, and it was like a mirror selfie of the woman. And I guess she thinks that's weird because it's very uncommon to have just a picture of yourself as your wallpaper on your phone. I mean, yeah, it might be uncommon. Most people might have their dog, kid, significant other, whoever else it is, like a family member, whatever, right? Most people might have that as their wallpaper. But the fact that she had a selfie as a wallpaper on her phone doesn't seem like it has to be something that needs to be brought up in a TikTok video. If I just so happened to see someone's phone and they had like a selfie as the wallpaper, I wouldn't think twice about it. I would just walk away and mind my own business. Like, why would that even be like a problem for you? Like, that would be something I would forget about within 2 seconds. But now let's get over to the more serious stuff, where she says that this woman apparently goes and like preys on men and that she takes men home and people never see her again, which, let's talk about the possibilities here. If that is true, TikTok's not really the place you should be reporting that. You should be reporting that to the police if you genuinely believe that. If it's not true, and maybe you're like trying to make a joke out of it, you should definitely be a bit clear when you say that it's a joke, because it doesn't come across that clear to me. And also, if it's not a joke but you are just making assumptions, that is a wild assumption to make. Again, you've got to remember here, everybody knows where Michelle works. That already limits the amount of people who go to this bar. We already know it's a woman who goes to this bar every day, apparently, and only drinks water. That narrows it down a lot to who it could be. So now people who go to this bar are probably going to be looking at this woman weird, thinking, oh my god, there's crazy water bitch, or whatever they decide to call her. And imagine how that woman would feel if she saw this video. Like, that'd be horrible. And even on top of that, this can't be good for the business. Like, surely you're going to put people off wanting to go to this bar because they're going to feel like the waiters are just talking shit about them, which has happened, by the way. We will get to it, but it seems like a lot of people who wanted to attend this bar no longer want to attend this bar because of this situation.
I was like, oh my god, it's crazy water bitch, you guys. I don't think she's on the spectrum or anything like that. It's just a strange thing.
Okay, right, that ending was very bizarre. First of all, she says that after she picked up the phone and saw that it was a selfie, she went over to the other staff members and was like, oh my god, it's crazy water bitch, you guys. Just taking the piss out of this woman because of a wallpaper on her phone. Again, horrible thing to do. And secondly, what on earth was that comment about her not being on the spectrum at the end? Like, I don't mean to make assumptions here, but in my opinion, it kind of came across like she was saying, oh, only someone on the spectrum would behave like this, and the fact that she's not on the spectrum is like crazy, right? Have I read that wrong? Either way, just such a random, bizarre comment to make. Let me see what the people in the comments are saying. Michelle Sweetie, come on, the spectrum comment was inappropriate. You're embarrassing yourself. So what if she doesn't drink? Also, I don't think she's on the spectrum. What the fuck? Honestly, this is just more unhinged mean girl bullshit from you. What the fuck does being on the spectrum have to do with anything? This is the most disgusting video you've made so far. The spectrum comment is so disgusting. Who the fuck tips for water? Yeah, I think it's very clear to see that a lot of people have a lot of problems with this video. It's a very bizarre video that, by the way, is still up. And she's doubled down on this a lot, right? She's made a lot of responses through this, and yet again, it's resulted in a lot of people feeling uncomfortable with going to this bar anymore, which we'll get into later on in the video. But either way, this is Michelle's explanation for the comment that she made at the end of the video.
I was not coming from a bad place by saying the spectrum thing. I was trying to anticipate the fact that everybody would be like, oh, maybe she's on the spectrum. Because I'm not trying to make fun of anybody that I think, if I thought she actually was, I would never have made the video.
Okay, but because you don't think she is, you will happily make fun of her in front of millions of people and call her the crazy water bitch and go into a bunch of details and make some wild accusations. Understandable.
Y'all don't know the half of it. It's hard to explain unless you see it for yourself. It's just strange. That's all I'm saying. But then I find out last night after we closed
that she came in a couple of days ago and ordered a White Claw and tipped 100%. So I did not know that before I posted the video. She's just never ordered anything from me.
Oh, so she has tipped people, is what you're trying to say, but you decided to make a video saying that she doesn't and calling her all the names under the sun. And now that you found out that she has tipped, you're still not going to take down the original video? Does it make sense? Not really to me. Here's another video from just a day ago of Michelle replying to hate comments, and it's another bizarre one.
I have accumulated quite a few haters on the internet lately.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the only hater I have seen today is you. You went on a video in front of millions of people and just started talking shit about a random woman because they didn't tip you for a water at one point. And basically admitted that you talk about this woman behind her back, even though she probably loves going there. I mean, apparently she goes every day. I mean, that's a hater mentality if I've ever seen one.
There have been studies done which explored the psychological profile of people who posted hate comments online. Researchers of this one study, hate commenters demonstrated high levels of one specific dark triad trait, psychopathy. Let's just go ahead and look up what that is. Psychopathy is a condition characterized by the absence of empathy.
Okay, yeah, right. So you get the point of the video. She basically goes on to say that people who are leaving hate comments are psychopaths. I mean, that's a new one that we can add to the list of things influencers say after they're being called out. I don't think anyone has just straight up accused the hate commenters of being psychopaths before. I think that is unique. Now, here's my personal favourite video by Michelle regarding this whole situation, or responded to the haters, if you will. It was uploaded 10 hours ago, brand new video, and it's quite the watch. Nice. Glad to see you taking the situation serious. I mean, yeah, fair enough. You clearly don't give a shit. You've never really responded to criticism well for like the past 6 months or however long it's been at this point. So I can't exactly say I'm surprised, but you are kind of just ruining your career at this point, and not only your career, but also the business that you work for. Now, before we get to the business stuff, let's actually just look at the comments on this brand new video. We've got one here saying, do you and Matt Rife have the same manager? Because what the fuck? Now, I can't lie, I don't really know much about the Matt Rife situation, but I know he is getting a lot of hate right now, so I can fill in the gaps. Girl, just shut the fuck up already. You're making it so much worse for yourself. Don't you understand that? I love seeing the downfall of creators who are actually shitty people behind the scenes. There's no way you watching this and thought, fuck yeah, I'ma post this for the enjoyment of others. That is a brilliant comment. That's an A-star right there. But this is where we have to introduce someone else into the situation, and it's a TikToker called May, or Spears No Beers 2. They're a TikToker with about 20,000 followers on TikTok, and they are actually a customer of the restaurant that Michelle works at. In fact, they say they think they're like the #1 customer at this place, and they go on to explain that a lot of customers no longer actually even want to go there because of Michelle's behavior.
I was putting on my makeup, getting ready to go to Uncle Jesse's. Everyone knows I love Uncle Jesse's. I've been going every night, every weekend since the beginning of May. And I have missed a couple weekends because I've been out of town. But seriously, no one's been there more than me. No customer has been there more than me. I just get water, but I'm still a customer, okay? Another misconception, no, the video was not about me. It was about this girl that I've met there, and she is different. And she'll tell you that she's different, but that does not give you grounds to just absolutely rail her on the internet.
Absolutely it doesn't. Like, do you just expect every customer to be the exact same? And then the moment you see someone who is different, I don't even really know what that means, but someone who isn't the same as everybody else, you just decide to just attack her on the internet and talk about how you've been talking shit about her with all the staff and just belittling her for no reason. Don't get it.
I have been doing some social media with Uncle Jesse's, and I cannot tell you, like, this girl has caused so much drama. Like, we get hate on Google reviews, we get comments, we get DMs constantly because this girl's such a hater on the internet.
Whoa. You can't be calling her a hater right now because in her own words, you're basically calling her a psychopath. That's the only plausible explanation, right?
So when I saw that video, I went down to Uncle Jesse's in the middle of me getting ready. I live like 2 minutes away. I walk in there and I'm like, Michelle, I saw your TikTok. That's about my friend. Take it the fuck down. This is ridiculous. Like, you're saying that she's borderline on the spectrum, that like she's a murderer. Like, where are you getting these ideas from? Like, I'm like, she's a sober queen. She drinks on occasion. I never drink. I'm like, just because we don't look the same, does that give you any reason to think that she's weirder than I am? Like, I'm just as fucking weird. And she was like, what? No. And I was like, delete the fucking TikTok, Michelle.
Still not deleted, by the way. It's still very much up for everybody to see. And as you just heard her say, she even went in and spoke to Michelle herself and was like, why are you making these accusations? Why are you trying to call her a murderer online based on nothing? Just because she doesn't want to drink alcohol, she drinks on occasions apparently, but for the most part, doesn't really drink. And you go on TikTok and start saying that she preys on men and takes a moment and never see them again, insinuating that she's a murderer. That part could be her joking or whatever. But the part with her saying that she goes in and just preys on men and all this stuff, like, that doesn't seem like a joke at all.
I just know that if that video someone made about her kid, she would go berserk. She would literally have an absolute conniption. Someone did DM me on TikTok and say that I should go to the police station. And I think I am actually going to go to the police station and just like send a copy of her video and send a copy of my video. Because like that's just bullying and harassment to the max.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so she's saying she's going to go to the police. I can't imagine the police doing much, if I'm being honest, right? I feel like this should be on the company at this point, right? The bar, they're the ones who hired her in the first place, and I have no doubt that they've seen these videos. They're fully aware of what Michelle does. I can't imagine that's a secret. But I guess they're okay with it, and as Michelle said, it is ruining the business. The reviews have went down on Google. People aren't going anymore. They're scared to go because they feel like the staff's gonna be talking shit about them. I can't imagine the owners of the bar are gonna be happy with that. Oh, hello, mate. You know what, right? Actually, I saw a few comments on one of my last videos saying, oh, Bailey wants attention. Give him attention. Don't just talk. I do. It gets cut out. You know, I cut to the part where I'm like talking next, but the amount of breaks where I've like talked to Bailey, it just gets cut out of the video, okay? I'm sorry. But yeah, I saw a few comments from people thinking that I actually just like genuinely ignore him, and it made me sad. Didn't it, Bailey? Thanks for your input. Yeah, I can't actually remember what I was up to what I was saying. I've kind of lost my train of thought, so we'll carry on with the video.
And I'm gonna stick up for my friends, and this girl does not deserve that. Like, that's just... Michelle is so trashy for that. Love you guys. Thanks for being I'm just passed out. Thanks for being supportive, Michelle. Pack up.
Right, well, I feel like the message is very clear there, right? This is someone who goes to the bar, is friends with the person who was being spoke about by Michelle, and she's not happy with it, and clearly a lot of people apparently aren't either. But yeah, either way, that is the situation up to date, or at least as I'm recording this video, but the newest stuff is literally within the last few hours, so by the time this goes up, there might be some new stuff, so I might have to make a part 3, 2, I don't even know at this point because of the first video, but I could make another part to kind of give him more updates if you do want to see that. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about in today's video. And yeah, if you did enjoy, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.